Lake Serenity was known for its serene waters and towering pines that reflected perfectly in the black, glassy surface. But beneath the beauty lay whispers of valve, disappearances, and strange phenomena that locals referred to as the Silent Circle, a cold, unexplainable patch in the lake where sounds warped and reflections seemed to twist unnaturally. And it was here in June of 1998 that Sarah Vance, a 32-year-old single mother, arrived with her 7-year-old son, Alex, for a weekend getaway meant to escape the burdens of work, bills, and life's relentless demands. But the tranquility dissolved quickly as Alex pointed to the center of the lake and whispered, "Mom, someone's in the water." And for a fleeting instant, Sarah thought she saw a dark human-shaped figure standing impossibly still beyond any shallow reach, dissolving into the morning mist before she could focus, leaving ripples and a growing sense of unease that neither she nor Alex could explain. Yet she tried to calm him and herself, attributing it to shadows and reflections, unaware that this brief encounter was a prelude to a nightmare. That evening, as Sarah stepped outside for a short walk, promising to return immediately, she vanished, leaving only her shawl snagged on a bush. And the search that followed was immediate and exhaustive, with police, search dogs, divers, and helicopters combing the dense forest and lake. Yet the trail ended abruptly at the water's edge, as if she had walked straight into the lake and disappeared into nothingness. And when her cell phone was found days later half buried in dirt near the cabin, it contained a single trembling voice memo: "The lake keeps calling me." Words that terrified the searchers and suggested something unnatural, inexplicable, and ominous. Weeks turned into months. The media dubbed the case the Lakeside Phantom, and pressure mounted on local law enforcement to produce a suspect. And that's when Jerry Banks, a quiet, peculiar local man with a history of minor offenses and intellectual limitations, was brought in for questioning, subjected to hours of relentless interrogation in a small windowless room, pressured, manipulated, and terrified until he muttered, "Maybe I did it. I don't remember." A coerced confession that became the basis for his arrest and eventual conviction, despite the absence of physical evidence. While young Alex insisted he had seen his mother walk into the lake alone, a testimony dismissed by the court despite its consistency and psychological credibility. And forensic examination of the cabin and Sarah's belongings revealed no sign of struggle, no trace of Jerry's presence, and only splinters from the cabin on her shawl, suggesting that the truth had been overlooked in the rush to close the case, leaving the lake's mysteries intact and the real Lakeside Phantom free. A chilling reminder that sometimes the most dangerous threat is not the person behind bars, but the unknown force the world refuses to acknowledge. Months passed, and while Jerry Banks sat in prison for a crime he did not commit, the lake remained a dark, silent witness to mysteries that no one could explain. As locals reported strange lights reflecting on the water at night, fleeting shadows moving along the shoreline, and whispers that seemed to drift across the mist, faint and sorrowful, often repeating, "Come back." Investigators began to analyze the lake itself, measuring temperatures and discovering a circular zone where the water dropped dramatically, an anomaly that baffled scientists and fed rumors of supernatural involvement. While Sarah Vance's backpack, discovered weeks later on a distant shore, untouched, dry, and miles from any path, suggested she had never been forcibly removed, and contradicted the coerced confession that had imprisoned Jerry. And as forensic experts examined the scene, They found no DNA linking Jerry to the cabin, the lake, or the surroundings, reinforcing the terrifying reality that the system had ensnared innocent man while the real cause of Sarah's disappearance remained elusive. And as years went by, attention shifted back to the lake, where hikers reported pale figures moving across the water's surface at dusk, voices calling out in a tone both mournful and commanding, and eerie reflections of people who were never there. Phenomena that defied explanation and reminded all who visited that Lake Serenity was far more than a body of water. Meanwhile, Jerry's eventual exoneration brought relief, but could not undo the damage. Years spent in confinement leaving scars on his mind and body, estranged family, and a haunting sense of injustice, while the community grappled with guilt, fear, and the unshakable impression that something unseen continued to dwell in the lake's depths. And though investigators reopened the case, painstakingly following every lead, interviewing everyone Sarah had known, and scrutinizing every anomaly reported in the surrounding area, the trail remained cold. Evidence lost, memories faded, and the real lakeside phantom had vanished into the shadows, leaving only questions, speculation, and the unsettling understanding that sometimes the truth is less comforting than ignorance. Even today, those who venture near the lake report chills, inexplicable movements in the trees, and the persistent sensation of being watched, as if the water itself remembers what happened and waits silently for the next visitor. While the legend of the Silent Circle endures, a place where authority can be manipulated, innocence destroyed, and nature or something beyond can claim its own. A story that challenges the boundary between human error, judicial failure, and forces that defy reason. And for anyone who listens carefully on still nights, the faintest whisper may still carry across the water. Come closer. A haunting reminder that Lake Serenity never truly releases what it takes, and that the real phantom remains free, a chilling, inescapable shadow.